Hi guys, this is Carolina Varsity, and we're in our 2015 season. We're in the third round of the 2A playoffs, and in this game we got Mount Pleasant riding on the back of the horse to go over to Shelby and play. I'm Dale Ross,
I'm Anthony Perkins.
and Anthony, I'm gonna let you start this out.
Okay, in the 2A, the two single A brackets, in the West we have number 1A Shelby out of the South Mountain Athletic Conference with a 12-1 record going up against number 12 Mount Pleasant out of the Rocky River 2A Conference with an 8-5 record. Shelby has played West Wilkesboro and Carver to get to this place in the brackets. They beat West Wilkes 62-0, Carver 34-9. Mount Pleasant has played Lake Norman Charter, beat them 41-14 in the first round. Hendersonville last week 52-46, a close matchup. Shelby comes in averaging 46 points a game while giving up only 18. Mount Pleasant comes in averaging 35 points a game, but they're giving up 27. Shelby's more pass heavy. They're only averaging about 119 yards per game passing, about 330 yards a game. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. 119 rushing, 331 passing, for a total of 450 yards per game. Mount Pleasant is flip-flop. They're about 309 yards per game rushing and 91 yards per game passing for a total of about 400 yards per game. So there's a 50-yard differential in total offensive output, and the scoring differential plus what the defense is limiting the opposition gives Shelby a big edge here. And I'm predicting that Shelby will continue to do what they've done the last couple of weeks, win big, and I'd say by 3 touchdowns.
So the first thing I'll say is the report says Shelby 52, Mount Pleasant 27. These are two extreme contrasts in offenses. Mount Pleasant on the back of Cody the Horse Race. Cody has carried the ball 456 times this year for 2,809 yards.
216 yard per game average.
Yeah.
That's pretty good numbers.
29 TDs, exactly. Mount Pleasant rushed for over 4,000 yards so far this season. So lots of running out of that offense. And, of course, most of that running, right at 3/4 of that running is through Cody Reese.
Right.
Great kid, hard runner, just everything you could want. And, of course, that kind of offense can slow things down. Shelby has almost the same amount of in their passing. Their quarterback has a very high QB rating, 125.1, 3,910 yards in the air, 52 TDs, just phenomenal passing attack that Shelby's got over there, and that's Darquez Lee is their quarterback, and that was through 12 games. There's actually I did not find stats for last week's game exactly, so they obviously probably threw up another 300. I could have looked up for a game report, but I would assume that their passing is greater now than Mount Pleasant's rushing, but very, very close to each other in offense, but very big contrasting styles of play. Shelby's a very explosive, high-scoring offense as well, much higher, as you noted, than Mount Pleasant's. It'll be an interesting ball game if Mount Pleasant can, through that attack, and really it's going to be, can their defense slow down Shelby?
Right, yes, because they are explosive.
Exactly.
Quick strike team.
Right. So the Mount Pleasant will have to use your offense to kind of keep your defense rested a little bit and keep that Shelby offense off the field. That's how I say many times one of your best defenses can be your offense.
Right.
Keep the other team's offense off the field.
Right.
Right.
All right. And this will be sort of uncharted territory for both teams because neither one of them had played anybody, no common opponents.
Right. Exactly.
And so it's going to be other than what the coaches learn from game films, that that they'll be supplied with this week, it's going to be a new experience for both teams.
Right. I expect both teams to probably try to do what they do best, and just let things happen, and try to scheme a little bit. Maybe Mount Pleasant goes into like a cover 4 type of a defense to cover the receivers, and then or try to blanket the field and keep things underneath them. And I would expect Shelby's going to stack the box. When you're that big run heavy, you're going to see 7, 8 men you're going to see 7 men in the box easily. You're probably going to see 8. So maybe Mount Pleasant needs to find a few little trick plays and throw the ball a little bit, because they're going to see 8 in easily.
They are, and the thing is, Shelby's been playing lights out defensively. They've only allowed 9 points so far in the playoffs.
Right.
And as we said in another video a while ago, when you get to this point of the season, the defense is key.
Defense is key.
That, and of course penalties and turnovers, but that's always the case. But most of the time, the teams that are playing the best defense are the ones that are going to advance.
That's right.
And Mount Pleasant, although they played 2 good games and 2 good teams to get here, they've been giving up a lot more points. And last week it was sort of a shootout between Hendersonville's final 52-46 score. So that doesn't speak well for defensive effort.
Right.
But and Shelby's doing it on both sides. They're rolling up the points, plus they're holding things down.
Right.
It's a rematch from last year in the
ahead.
playoffs. Shelby knocked Mount Pleasant out 31-17. So Mount Pleasant's really excited about going back down there to play them for the second time. So that's a big motivator.
That's a big motivator. You got to look. That's things that Mount Pleasant's got to look for as motivators, because from an athlete and speed point of view, there's a gap. So you close that gap exactly as Matt says here with those motivators, and that's a big motivator. And I expect you're going to have people like Cody Reese playing their heart out in this game. He played in that ball game. He knows. So it might not be so easy for Shelby to shut him down. One of the things I was just thinking as you was talking, I think if I'm Shelby, everybody goes in the box, and then I'm going to pull people out of the box to man anybody, because they probably got the athletes to man anybody that Mount Pleasant may put at receiver. Everybody else is going to be in the box to stop the run. So you might see 9 in the box or something like that very, very easily. So that makes it tough. But then again, all Cody's got to do is break a tackle.
I started saying it makes it tough unless he gets to the second level,
Exactly.
and then there's nobody behind or ahead of you.
Exactly. So they got to be careful of that. And so they might hold a safety back, to cover for that. But it'll be interesting to see if Mount Pleasant can make it a game. So the report says you can't, but you're going to show us differently. Thanks for watching.